Today we will be going over the third video in section 3, creating clean web and REST services, creating REST endpoints. We will be creating the post, put, and delete endpoints for our service so that we are able to query the content, we're able to update the content, and of course we're able to delete the content as needed. We will use the function chaining inside of Iron Router to accomplish this, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pick up right where we left off before, going into the end of our get function, and we're going to chain a function here for post. It's very similar to what we did up above. We obviously need to write the headers. There's a reason why we separated that out so that we can do that. And now we need to check to see if an email address was sent in with the request. Okay, so we're going to do a very simple this.request.body.email. If it doesn't exist, we don't even want to go anywhere, so we'll just send a quick response back saying, hey, no user was specified, and then we'll return. Okay, so now we need to find out whether or not the user exists because we can't just use the email address. So we're going to be using a very specific MongoDB query. Okay, it's called elm-match, and it's because the emails, the way that they're stored inside of Meteor users is an array. So we're going to use Meteor users.findOne, but inside of that emails array, we're going to do an elm-match to find out where the address is equal to what was entered as far as the user email. If that email wasn't specified, or if the user doesn't exist, then we need to deal with that. So we will do the same thing we did above. If no user, then we'll send a quasi-friendly message to this response.end, user not found, and then we'll go ahead and return. Okay, great. Now we get to deal with the case where we do have everything in order, and it's a very, very simple query. It's just snippets.find where the owner is equal to the user underscore ID, fetch. Now we need to put this in the response end as a string, so we'll use JSON stringify to do that. And that's it. It's a very simple query, and now our posts service is done. So we can go ahead and test this. There's a great tool out there to do that. It's called Postman. It's found here inside of Chrome. It's a very popular plugin because of what it does. It makes it so that we can post to a service very, very easily. So when you're working with some APIs, this is definitely the way to go. If you have another method of interacting, another REST client that you like to use, feel free to use that, no problem. But we're going to use this for our demonstration. So inside of the Postman interface, we're going to go ahead and enter our URL. And this, of course, is http://localhost 3000. And remember that we are using the API endpoint. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. We want to change from get to post. Okay. And we are going to need to put in a header to let it know that we're sending JSON across the wire. So we're going to go ahead and put in a type here. I have a shortcut built, but this will make content type application JSON, which is exactly what we need to send JSON across to our service. We're now ready to enter our request. We're going to go ahead and click on raw, and we are going to use JSON to send that across. So we've got the email parameter set, and we've got it set to user1@test.com. Okay, so everything looks good there. We're going to go ahead and click send. Right. And as we click send, it looks like we got to scroll down again. There we go. So we've got the results from our service put out in raw JSON format. It looks great. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the update portion or the put portion. So we'll create a same function. We're chaining just like we did before. We got to write headers just like we did before as well. And now we need to check to see if there's an actual request coming in, because if there's no request coming in, then we don't need to do anything with it. So we'll quickly check for the record, this.body.update. That's what we'll call it. And if it doesn't exist, then we'll put in that quasi-friendly message that says nothing was requested. And then we'll go ahead and end. Now let's assume that we do have a record. Okay, this record has parameters on it because it is JSON. So we're going to update using upsert. Okay, and we're just going to get that record ID. We're going to find a record ID and insert it into our JSON. And then we'll go ahead and set anything that was in the changes section of that record that we came across. We'll log to the console, and then we'll print out a friendly message that says the snippet was updated. And that's it. Very, very simple query as well there. Okay, so let's find a snippet that's worthy of being changed. It looks like we have a frowny face. How did that get in there? Okay, let's go ahead and, using our original query, find that frowny face. There it is. We'll pull the ID. And now instead of us doing a posts in our header, we will do a put. Okay, so we will use the same query as before, the same URL, but instead of using post, we'll use put. Okay, same content type, application JSON. And now looking down at the JSON itself, you'll notice that it is a little bit more complicated. We have an update object, we have an ID on top of that, and then we have some changes that we'll make inside of there. So we will add or paste in that ID into the ID section, and we wanted to change from a frowny face to a smiley face. So let's go ahead and do that. Put in a smiley face, and let's make it really happy. Let's actually add the word happy to it as well to let everybody know how happy we are that our REST service is working. Ew, even an exclamation mark. Let's do that. Okay, let's click send. And the snippet has been updated. That's the correct response that we got back. Let's check inside of our UI, and there it is. Inside of the UI, it is reflecting properly and happy. That was a little over the top with the happy part. Smiley faces are happy enough, so we'll click send and we'll update again. And just because Meteor is reactive, it's instantly updated inside of our UI. We have one more endpoint to create. That's the delete endpoint. So we'll create it inside of the same function chain. We need to write our headers like usual. Okay. And now we need to scroll down here a little bit. Check to see if an ID was sent for deletion. Okay, so we need to make sure that an ID was sent. We'll do a request.bodyDown. We'll call it snippet ID. If it's not there, then we'll do the usual crazy friendly message of no ID submitted, and then we'll return. Now we'll assume that the ID is there. It's a very simple delete. It's just snippets.remove, and we'll use that record ID that was passed in as our parameter. We'll also log to the server console so that we can see what's going on, and then we need a friendly response. Snippet deleted. Okay, that's sufficiently friendly. Okay, that's it. Very, very simple. Okay, let's go ahead and add inside of our UI some kind of grotesque snippet that we want to get rid of. There's a bunch of ASCII characters. That'll do just nicely. So we're going to use our initial post endpoint to find that snippet ID. There it is. It starts with a G at the bottom. We'll go ahead and copy that to our clipboard. And then we will create this new delete request. Okay, so instead of using post, we'll use delete, same localhost 3000/API, same application JSON, and very, very simple. We'll just say snippet ID. We'll paste in the ID there inside of that JSON and click send, and the snippet is deleted. Just like that, very simple query. So we've gone over post, put, and delete. With post, we were able to find all of the snippets that belong to a certain user email. With put, we were able to take any of the IDs and change the content based off of that. And of course, we were able to delete using the same method. Our next video is actually section 4, creating responsive user interfaces. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you then.